Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rajiv Sood. I have with me my colleague Abhinav. Both me and Abhinav, we represent Zoxma Solutions. Zoxma is a digital transformation company, and we partner with Microsoft, in a big way to basically bring out very innovative solutions for various industry segments. And chemicals and the paints industry is one of our focus areas where we have built in some very innovative solutions basically to take care of the distribution side of the business. So wherever there are touch points for the customers and the channel partners, we have innovations, solutions, applications, mobile apps, portals, and various other automations using RPA, AI, and all that, which we have built for the industry. So I take care of the business for Zoxima globally, and Abhinav is our consultant for the solution architect and a consultant for the paints and the chemicals industry. The agenda for today is that we are going to briefly talk about what are the solutions which we are bringing in and how is the technology enabling these solutions. Then we will talk about the solutions specifically which we have to talk today and present it today. And then I will hand over it to Abhinav to basically take us through some of the use cases and the demonstrations of the key aspects of the mobile apps which we have built. And then we will, towards the end, we will open the floor for Q&A. And that's the time we would encourage all of you to post your questions so that we can answer them. And if there are any requests which you would have for subsequently connect, clarify, and help you to implement very innovative solutions on the Microsoft stack and the pre-built assets which we have built. Um, so with that, I will now get into the details on the solutions. Essentially, what we have seen is in the paints and the chemicals industry, there are two types of solutions we are talking about today. Although one is on the paint side, which is more to do with the building material and FMCG kind of scenarios, where we have not only the dealers, distributors, retailers selling our products. But we also have influencers like painters and all that who help us to secure more business, and we need to keep them motivated and have loyalty programs for them. And on the other hand, we will have the architects for larger premises which are being either built afresh or being renovated, and the interior designers and so on and so forth. That's on the paint side. On the chemical side, we have a lot of focus on the B2B side of the business. So if you look at what is happening today in the industry, there is a huge focus by all organizations on B2B. There is a huge focus on the distribution automations and building solutions primarily for loyalty, for training of dealers, distributors, and then also supply chain tracking, and building innovative apps, not only for distributors, dealers, retailers, the sales teams associated with it, but also for the key influencers, and have a deeper engagement with them. And all this is being done using technology, and with a lot of new innovations happening, especially on the AI and the RPA side. And there are interventions which can actually do a large part of digital transformation on these specific industry requirements, if I may so, and ever-changing requirements. And there is a lot of focus on the chemical side. If I talk about it, particularly on the agrochemicals and all that, where we have to get into field trials and talk to village elders and go for key customers, and then do a lot of field research and trials and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of application requirements, interventions required, not only from end customer connect perspective, but also from carrying out seamlessly the activities of trials, and then subsequently give passing on knowledge to the end customers so that they take a informed decisions, and we certainly position our products. So that's what has been happening in the paints, chemicals, agrochemicals kind of sectors, with focus on end customers, on influencers, and on the motivation and training of sales in the channels. That's the key focus for us when we build these solutions. As a company, we use Microsoft technology and stack, both from a CRM perspective, which is the D365 CRM, and also extend it by a very innovative use of Power Apps, and built a lot of the functionality, be it as dealer management, distributor management, or retailer management systems, or sales automations, also or service automations, or even the end customer applications or loyalty applications using power of the Power Apps. There is a lot of focus and the analytic capabilities of Power BI, which has been used for generating dashboards, drill downs, and various scenarios for various stakeholders. And at the same point in time, the hosting and the PaaS platform from Azure is also being used. So in a nutshell, the power of CRM, Power Apps, Power BI, Azure, all that is used for extending and the application to various use cases within the paints and the chemical industries. And then also very innovatively using other Microsoft products, which are, say, a team, Microsoft Teams. How do we use collaborate within the sales teams, within the organization, within the service teams, or with the dealers, or even with the end customers? And how do we use the Office product suites, emails, or say WhatsApp or SMS and all these facilities, and linked it with from a B2B perspective on the LinkedIn integrations, which is seamless on the Microsoft stack. So all these technology platforms have helped us to build over the last 7-8 years very innovative solutions to cater to distribution sector, which is the dealers, retailers, distributors, and all the actors associated with the distribution side of the business. And also on the B2B side, how do we do the key account management? So that's where we have built a lot of solutions, which we can see out on the screen. And these solutions today are verticalized and micro verticalized to that extent. And there are specific processes for a specific industry, micro industry, which we have built within say in a building material. The way a paint solution is different from a TMT solution or a cement solution. And similarly, in the chemicals business, the way a key account management is done in a typical B2B kind of a scenario, and a way a farmer application is done for connecting to end farmers or to mandis or to doing field trials is very different from the paint solution. So that's how the solutions have evolved over the years. And being a partner for Microsoft and having done these solutions for more than 8 years, we have a lot of rich functionality and usability into the system, with using of even Azure cognitive services from AI perspective as well, and also the RPA capabilities of Azure. We have been kind of giving these very innovative apps, very smart apps, which are very user friendly and seamlessly connected across all the stakeholders, and processes built seamlessly from end customers requirements to fulfillment by the distributor, dealer, retailers, or working alongside the influencers. and then doing a complete digital transformation. And this we have been doing for many organizations, and many in the chemicals, paints industries also. We work with the largest alcohol company in the world, which is Diageo. We are also working with organizations like Dampu Sugar, which is into sugar and associated chemicals, alcohol, and all that. And then also organizations which is into specialty chemicals, adhesives, and all that, like MY Kinetic or paints like Vapacure paints, and so on and so forth. And largely we do this for the overall manufacturing and the distribution sector, with very specific focus which has come in for the chemicals and paints business, as I was trying to explain a little while before. We'll take a deeper dive into all these in my subsequent slides. So if you look at overall value, what we bring in, so there are multiple internal and external actors which we try and automate. So whether it is sales teams from B2B or the key account management perspective, or sales teams for the channel business, or say a marketing automation and the marketing teams, both from a digital marketing, social media marketing, or executing events with in the field, or say a market development team which is used for developing dealers, motivating them, or even training and retraining of dealers and the subsequent influencers. And not to talk about teams who do the service management or quality assurance, or market development for that matter. And then on the external sides, we will have distributors, dealers, third-party commission agents. We will have retailers and influencers, and the end customers who will be then working alongside us as in a single integrated fashion. And these systems actually talk to multiple systems, be it is ERP, be it is WhatsApp, Google, or any other technology intervention which would be required to make very informed decisions and have a seamless, unified communication across the actors. It could be a communication on call center, it could be communication on email, WhatsApp, SMS, phone calls, and across the transactions as it's happening. And this is all done with the help of various, applications which have been built, like sales applications for the sales teams would be different for a B2B perspective, for a trade perspective, for a market development perspective. And there'll be mobile apps for a distributor, dealer, retailer, influencers, and loyalty programs being run in there. So, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to arrive at is that there are multiple of UIs, user interfaces, or the apps which we will see in the front end, which all the users would be using, all the ecosystem players would be using. But in the back end, there is one single engine, which is core Microsoft engine, which is used for not only security, workflow enablement, or building processes, but it is a single data source, and then a lot of power of artificial intelligence and other technology interventions, which is used across the information flow from various sectors. So while the UIs would make it look that we have multiple of the apps, but then actually it is one single connected system where all the processes and information is seamlessly connected, and collaboration is being enabled from all the processes perspective. So that's what we bring in as a single solution on the stack from Microsoft, with a lot of productivity tools and a lot of analytics being built on all the information, the data which are collected and being provided to various stakeholders in the ecosystem of sales and distribution. So that's the overall value which we bring in. And not to talk about the call center, the way it has to be utilized not only for customer support or the service, but also for sales scenarios or booking orders, or even bots, the way we want to use it, either on a website or on a WhatsApp enabled bots, or any other places where we would want transactions or informations being given seamlessly without human interventions to all the stakeholders. Could be a distributor, dealer, retailer, influencer, and customer, and any information being sought out, being connected to the single data source, would be available to people as a query which they can run from the instrument they or the UI which they are exposed to. So that's what, as a solution, we bring in. Just to take a little deeper dive into a few of the solutions which I'm going to talk about. One is a distributor, dealer, retailer, or the B2B commerce kind of a solution, which enables not the seamless interactions of the organizations with this distributors, dealers, and both from a primary business perspective in terms of ordering from the distributors, dealers to the company, the credit management, the supply tracking, the invoicing tracking, the tracking of the financial parameters, and so on and so forth. But also the way complaints are registered, they are handled, or the way marketing materials are being requested, and being subsequently fulfilled, whether on cost or joint cost, or without cost. And then the KYCs are done for, say, a painter, or other any other agro influencer, or a scientist per se, by our channel partners, and the extended sales team of our distributors and dealers. The claims and the expenses management from distributors perspective, the marketing material requirements which the distributors can make, and then take subsequently receive the material and all that. That's more on the primary side. And on the secondary side, what we cover comprehensively is the sub dealer retailer orders, the shipments, the collection management for them, the invoicing for the secondary parties, inventory tracking, rule based inventory replenishments, and so on and so forth. Then all the information requirement from our channels perspective, be it as information on the company products, the way the products needs to be used, sold, or various other training materials or announcements from the company to our channels, are also enabled on a portal or a mobile app working on Android, iOS, and so on and so forth. A lot of push notifications could happen on WhatsApp and other digital channels as well. There are a couple of other things which is on the QR codes and the use of QR code, not only for track and trace of the material, but also from managing loyalty, managing points, managing tiers of distributors and dealers, and then subsequently the same thing also getting extended to the influencers, where the influencers would then use these QR codes for their own loyalty points and so on, and then subsequently redeeming those points. A couple of other things which are say important for a paints business could be more on the project leads which we run, and more from a chemical perspective would be the events and the trials which we execute in the field for various completely running on Android, iOS, and web interfaces seamlessly on a single code. Similarly, on the sales side, similar applications, similar enablement of orders, collections, credit management, credit request enhancements, and so on and so forth. And also the expense management, the KPIs, dashboards, incentives for the sales teams, calculations, complex scenarios of schemes, the way the schemes needs to be handled, or the trade promotions need to be handled with standard functionality of their visits and other information capture on competition, and the interactions with various stakeholders, could be B2B customers, or could be dealers, distributors, influencers, project sites, architects, interior designers, and so on and so forth. And on the chemical side, it could be with the research scientists and influencers, could on the recommendations, or even the project consultants like PDIL, EPIL, and so on and so forth. So that's the suite of offering from a SFA perspective, which could be our own sales teams, could be our extended sales teams, which could be third-party roles, and could be sales teams of our distributors. And both primary, secondary, tertiary kind of business also being run and managed through that, along with the events and marketing requirements from the field, doing events with the various stakeholders. Could be retailer events, could be influencer painter events, or could be events for say villagers, or participation in mandi events, and so on and so forth. So that's on the distribution side of the Salesforce automation. Similarly, on the B2B side, or the project side, right from identification of a lead and then subsequent working with the influencers or a project consultant for specifications, and then subsequently into the list of makes and bill of material, and then bidding for it and converting into contract and supplying to a contract as a single application interface, and managing all the interactions with the key stakeholders at a customer and during the life cycle of a institutional or a project kind of a scenario. Um, the core systems of Salesforce, dealers, retailers, influencer apps has been extended by way of trade promotion management. It could be rebates and schemes, period based, value based, and also slab based kind of schemes, or managing loyalty programs, where we give loyalty points and subsequently track it, and also the tiers for the channels. There are also solutions on the home applications front, like we have painting requirements from home. We've seen that Asian Paints and other organizations doing it. So we have similar solutions where a customer can make a requisition, and we'll have contractors and other people who ecosystem player who will be then subsequently going and fulfilling that need, and then payment collections, and subsequently monitoring of project sites and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of extensions which have happened to the core distribution solutions, which have been existing for a number of years. But with these technology interventions and the way Industry 4.0 is today changing, the way we are able to bring those solutions in an integrated fashion and extend it both horizontally and vertically, and keep the innovation journey for the organizations in the forefront, is something which is being enabled not only by the technology but also by the experience which we bring in this whole ecosystem. Just to take a little deeper dive into a trade promotion or a scheme management, is that we allow various types of schemes, period-based schemes, slab-based schemes, could be fixed target or could be growth-based on the previous periods, and we apply percentage growth, and then have accelerators and decelerators, and also build constraints, like the order booking or the billing has to be so much in so much of period, and with so much a percentage of increase over the previous period, and the payments should have been done in so much of time, and some other constraints which we would want to build it for specific customers, for specific geographies, for specific set of customers, for specific products and group of products. So that is the way the schemes get defined, executed, and then calculated and pushed back to ERP for payments. The payments can be both, tracked directly by giving credit notes, or by issuing some purchase orders to a third party, and then subsequently being executed either through the distributor network or through independent channels. So all this is a overall value proposition which the TPM brings in, the trade promotion brings in. And similarly on the loyalty side, I mentioned right from enrolling influencers and key stakeholders to their KYCs and calculation of points and subsequent redemption of that, along with the scanning applications for QR codes and various other aspects of tracking the supplies and rewarding them with cash or kind as the organization want to build that loyalty program. Within these solutions, we also have very comprehensive training and competence building capabilities to train, notify, train, and execute various programs, which kind of brings the influencers very close to the organization. And so that's what the introduction of the solutions from my side. I would now request my colleague Abhinav to take us through the key aspects of the applications in on some of these areas, and then and we would and show us as to how some of these technology interventions in certain specific processes have helped customers in this industry vertical. In this shorter time and this such a large solution, it won't be possible for us to cover the entirety of the solution, but we would like to cover some high points. And subsequently, people who would be interested in taking a deeper dive into these solutions and or any specific area, we would want them to leave their request so that then we can subsequently take a couple of hours of a deeper dive in each of these solutions which I just spoke of. Over to you, Abhinav, and take us through the applications and the certain salient features before we encourage people to start asking questions
Sure.
once you complete.
Is my screen visible?
Abhinav, right now I can only see the Teams login page. So if that is what you are presenting, then it is.
Now?
Yeah, it is available. It is.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. Welcome everyone for digital innovations from Zuxima. Currently, we have, sorry, my bad, sir. 1 second. So just to talk about, in addition to what Rajiv mentioned with regards to our solutions on digital assets, we have SFA, DMS, Influencers app. We also have farmer application. Today, in the gist of time, we would like to cover all these applications for your exposure. Just in case if you have any specific queries along the line, please feel free to raise your hand and put up your questions on the chat board. We'll try to cover as many questions as possible in our Q&A session. And in case if you want an elongated session, please do mention that as well in the chat. We can connect with you offline to engage you and expose the digital solutions in a greater timestamp. So I'll start with Power BI dashboards. These are very smart digital analytics that we have brought up here. So the first one that you can see is on heat maps. We have customer specific heat maps with regards to and the smartness of this heat map is such that based on the specific customers, the entire transactions are getting refreshed. The second one in our presentation is with regards to salesmen, wherein the consolidation of sales representative for a specific team is available for supervisors to have. When he chooses a specific team member, all the analytics with regards to that particular team member can be also looked into, be it from dealer, distributor wise management, total visits, total order quantity, visits. So in this particular case for Roshan, all the analytics are being changed, and on the fly, the user can actually change the dynamics, how it is being represented, maybe bar chart, other parameters. Again, over here, a simple, slightly different view. We all know the capability of Power BI in terms of how smart and robust analytics it can present for various stakeholders based on rule-based and user access-driven based. The information can be segregated and consolidated by system such that the sales representative would review and understand data from his perspective, whereas the supervisor would have consolidation of all his sales teams, and the region heads and subsequent senior professionals in the organization can have some consolidation based on geography, territory, and business verticals like. Again, some of the dashboarding analytics that we have done here from specific salesperson representatives. So number of events executed, qualified dealers on lead management, targets of our events, total expenses on events and productivity, the filtration with regards to the financial years. This can also be timestamped with regards to month and other places. Moving to SFA app. Just to give a brief about SFA, SFA app would be a Salesforce application to empower our internal sales team members who are associated with organization. Of course, a portion of this application can be extended to the distributor sales team member, and this application can be extended to our off-role employees who are functioning with regards to our team members on sales front. Over here, once the user logs in, these are the smart dashboards that you see, wherein his attendance, his daily total work hours that he has worked on the day, count of visits that he has executed for the day, and what time he started his day, what time the day ended, and total distance traveled using Google API can be done. So this can again be customized based on specific of organizations. There are KPIs which we can be defined on the SFA application based on the organization policies and framework. Over here, you can also get a glimpse of the analytics which are relevant from his day-to-day activity. I'll give you a minute to absorb the analytics part of it. Next activity would be for him to logically plan his visit, which is in terms of pre-journey plan. Over here, he can choose the customers and counters that he intends to visit and request for approval from his supervisor. He also has a facility to tag the supervisors where they intend to visit along with him. System has intelligent planning wherein he can plan the visits. This is now we are initializing his day. During the start of the day, system asks for specific inputs, whether it is market visit, he's working from home, whether he's in office, he's traveling for outstation travel, or specifics of visits. So this again can be customized based on organizational need with regards to depot, warehouses, factories, and other plants or training sessions. Once you submit, interestingly, at this junction, not only the timestamp is created, but also the geolocation of his visit can be initiated. During the visit, once he has initialized, he can start updating the information from his day-to-day interactions with customer, be it pricing related, competitor information, or scheme related information, and he can update the remarks. There are options to capture picture and upload attachments with regards function. Now we are using smart functionality where scan to text is also here, wherein the moment he's scanning the application, the text gets translated from the visit note itself. Is my pace okay for all of you, or it is moving a bit too fast? Please do let me know if the pace at which I'm moving is fine with you.
Abhinav, you can be a little slow, that's okay.
Thank you, Rajiv. So over here, we see that he has already initiated a visit for a specific customer. He has now there are options to stop this particular visit and resume at a later instance, and there are options to conclude a visit. Basis the process that of his interaction, he can do that. During visit, he can also create orders. These are some of the tabs on the SFA wherein the comprehensive life cycle of sales team members are captured. There are primary orders. Now, before I move into primary orders, I want to just take a few minutes towards the previous slide wherein there was a menu tab with regards to all the features and functionality of the SFA. Now moving on to the order booking. Over here, during the visit itself, he also has a list of all the orders that has been punched in with regards to that particular dealer or retailer, just in case if the secondary order or tertiary orders are also aligned with our sales team members, wherein from the specifics of primary order, he can see what all the orders, and there are multiple tabs with regards to the orders, such as there are open orders that he has created. There are orders which have been released by SAP. There are orders which have been partially shipped in terms of deliveries, and there are orders which have been completely shipped. So open orders are typically one where the actions are needed. Again, since this is an integrated system, whatever primary orders that the sales representative is capturing here, it can be notified in the DMS system for distributor, and also the organizational senior resources can see these orders in their system, and these orders are integrated with system with regards to their approval mechanisms. So if there is a price negotiation or discount negotiation happening, and a special discount needs to be given, the approval matrix can be aligned with regards to organizational hierarchy. Over here, these are references of the information with regards to my order, the type of order, the source of my order, the date, the quantities, the quantity of, there can be multiple of UOMs with regards to order, multiple order lines. So all this is the header info. Now moving on to the order lines of the info. I can select the customer, or if I'm in a visit, order mechanism is very straightforward, simple, wherein it's simple. I can update the quantity smartly. The quantities, once updated by system, automatically gets added to the cart. I can choose the product that I want. There are schemes and discounts that are reflecting directly here. If there are second tier level discount, wherein based on total order value, some discounting is coming, automatically those gets applied on the application order itself. Over here, we get to see the application system showing the total quantities, order date, total value, the GST calculations, and the parameters of quantities of items that have been identified. If there are any specific remarks with regards to order, I can update that in the order, and I'm placing the order. Since we have already integrated with WhatsApp, the order confirmation information flows to the customer, wherein he can get to see a text like such. And again, this entire text can be customized. There are standard templates that we can use, or a specific template from the customer, business specific, we can use and adopt, so that the end customers would get to see these information in their customer's WhatsApp, and they can confirm. Moving on to DMS system, which is a connected system for distributor ecosystem. There are multiple types of login wherein an OTP driven login or a user ID authentication login can be initiated. The moment he logs in, he sees a typical dashboard in his system where what has been the total primary orders that he has punched in, what is his monthly target, which has been updated in system. There are secondary orders and targets related to secondary order, and some dashboards analytics with regards to month till date and year till date. And product wise, category wise analysis is also available. After reviewing the analysis, he can go about generation of his orders for primary as well as secondary. He can raise a ticket. There are projects and opportunities wherein he can require. Over here, we see that the history of orders are there. There are again multiple tabs with regards to status of the orders. There are open orders. I'm creating a primary order here. With regards to this primary order, once the distributor is placing a primary order, this reflects in the SFA application. I'll pause at the instance where the primary order got created. So as we see here, the distributor has created a primary order. Now this order would flow through SFA application, wherein the sales team members can take action on this primary order. If we intend to define a metrics wherein there are specifics, minimum order quantity, economic order quantity that needs to be defined, Smarty system application can suggest the order quantities, and based on those suggestions, the distributor can place his order in the system. We can also update him with regards to the schemes and campaigns that are running and nudge him towards the next slab for his ordering mechanism. The orders can be split for multiple deliveries with regards to splitting of inventory, such that one order given can be delivered in multiple instances based on project requirements. So those splitting of deliveries is possible. Same references flows back to system with regards to SFA as well as the ERP. Over here, with regards to influencer onboarding, there are generic questions that we have added here with regards to each of the categories of influencers. This is again customizable with regards to Rajiv. Somebody is waiting in the lobby. Someone can please add them. Yeah. With regards to categorizations of influencers, we can have specific of the parameters that are interest for the organization to be updated in the onboarding process. The influencer, once get added, can be associated with distributor, and he can also see the analysis from his orders perspective. The chatbot facility is there to communicate with with the end customer, wherein he can raise his concerns and queries so that we save precious time to the sales team member, and their primary focus should be on improvement of business rather than handling the customer calls for information which can be provided by chatbot to them. Primary queries are with regards to status of the order, status of the deliveries. We also have created influencers app. The influencer that we got created through DMS on SFA would be interconnected with their systems in such a way that influencer associated with the distributor would be able to place orders, and the deliveries can be routed via distributor or directly at the site through OEM whenever the transactions are facilitated by OEM in such a way that it can be directly pushed from OEM or routed via distributor. He can also place orders directly, choosing the site location and delivery location. Interestingly, he would also have information with regards to his loyalty reward points. We also have capability to integrate with third-party loyalty applications where the burning of these loyalty points can be interfaced. Earning happens through SFA, DMS, and an influencers app, and burning can be interfaced with the third-party loyalty app. Over here, he would have analytics with regards to his orders and the disbursement of his loyalty points and settlement of his commissions for those orders. We can create the secondary tertiary order by scanning the QR code. System can automatically identify the product and update the quantities. These can be modified by users and punch in from secondary. These orders also reflect and the schemes that are there with regards to his loyalty points from reward recognition perspective are available. He can always raise a request to create a ticket for various of the instances, and those tickets can be addressed by distributor himself or by OEM and their SFA team members, Salesforce team members. Now moving on to another aspect of an application, which is a new addition to our digital asset, the farmer application. This again can be exposed to farmers wherein directly they get to see with regards to their crop. Over here, there is a list of product. We'll start with the crops wherein he identifies the crop that he's cultivating. He can choose the crop, type of crop, which is parameterized. He can choose the sowing date, the cultivation area that he's utilizing, the unit of measurement for that cultivation area, and the season. These are essential information right from analytics perspective. This gives the trajectory for the next steps from the farmer's perspective, and we can GAP is good agricultural practice tab, wherein with regards to the various crop care, various videos with regards to crop care can be pushed in by the OEM. This is a knowledge management center where the information is provided by OEM. We can also interface in such a way that a short video on the crop care or with regards to how the product needs to be used with regards to either chemicals, fertilizers, and insecticides can be elaborated here, and the farmer can take advantage of this particular application to understand how to use those feature products in right proportion and take care of his better crops. He can integrate the information with regards to his farm in terms of sizing, soil quality, watering source. This is a multilingual application. Currently, we have interfaced in two languages, English and Hindi. From the farmer application, farmer can actually place an order for insecticides or pesticides, or for that matter, the products. And these would be interfaced with the retailer or distributor DMS systems or retailer application based on our organizational hierarchy, whether it is a three-layer organization or two-layer organization. The ordering management system is in sync with DMS as well as retailer application. The order punched over here would reflect in their application. We have translated it into Hindi in the previous slide. I'll just quickly take back to the previous slide, where in the entire application, once the language option was changed, moved into Hindi language. So as you can see on the top, there is a phone icon. He can choose this option to call to the OEM service center and identify or raise his queries, which the OEM can actually provide necessary information to. With this, I come to conclusion of my presentation. Now we are open for the Q&A session. Please feel free to raise your queries. Over to you, Rajiv.
Thanks, Abhinav. In fact, the way we have tried to articulate, this particular part of our, webinar is that we try to cover the distribution solutions, dealer, distributors, retailers perspective. We have also tried to cover the end customer's perspective. We showed you a farmer applications more from a pesticide, insecticide, fertilizer kind of organization, but the similar things can be extended to any other scenario in any other chemical or even a paint industry where a requisition for painting a home or requesting for a material can be from the end customer's perspective as well, from a typical B2C perspective. So B2B, B2C,
Rajiv, once again,
commerce.
I see Mr. Arpit raising his hand. So Arpit, please go ahead and raise your query. Arpit.
So, Mr. Rajiv, this is Arpit Garg from IUL Chemicals and Pharmaceuticals.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned in one of your slides regarding the site identification. So
Sure,
I just want that point to be a bit more explanation on that point. So
fair enough, sir. I got your point. In fact, you had written that also in the chat also as a query. See, there are two aspects to the sites. Now, if I will probably put it in this question into two brackets. One will be more from a paint kind of an organization, and second will be more from a chemical company perspective. Now, in a paint, the site would be more from a individual house site where the renovations are going on, where the requirement is coming in, or a new building is coming up. And how do we identify that site? Do the geotagging visit, see who the interior designer is, who the architect is, who the contractor is, what is my collaboration with him. How does he recommend my product? How many times he does? What is my share of business with my competition, and so on and so forth. And then we track that particular site in terms of the readiness for my product, and then engagement with the contractor or the person who will be buying it, could be the end customer who is buying it, and then supplying it. That is more from a paint perspective, the site which is the but if we look at it, say, from an agro product perspective, the site would be more of a site where we would be carrying out field trials. So, which means, if there is a field or a crop, we need to do some field trials. We come up with new products or new combinations, or there are new focus required or for that particular region. So we will identify that site. We do a geotag and all that. We identify who the customer is, and then do a field trial, and then subsequently during the trial process, how the progression is, and how the soil conditions are, how the weather conditions are, and then do a comprehensive product matching and demonstration over a period of time, and then subsequently take it to the rest of the stuff. So that becomes a more from a agrochemical perspective. Then third could be a pure B2B kind of scenario, say a chemical company or a pharmaceutical company and all that, which could be more from a direct B2B customer perspective. So these are the three aspects which I personally feel the sites can be used very innovatively. And each of the organization would have its own way of dealing and looking at things. Yes, Arpit ji.
So Rajiv ji, for the third point that you were explaining for the chemicals and pharmaceuticals, it is of interest to us. So, uske baad, can you explain a bit more on the third point? Because the first two, we are not operating in the first two regions.
I understand, sir.
Agro part, and we are not in the as such directly on the paint side. But
correct, sir.
For chemicals and pharmaceuticals.
So pharmaceutical and chemicals also, we actually, if you look at it, we can further subclassify and subdivide it into multiple of things. Like within pharma, we'll have one kind of organizations which will be very, products which will be sold on recommendations by the doctors, which means that these are products where our teams are going convincing doctors, and then we are tracking the supplies through through the channel partners or through the retailers in that particular area, and seeing the lift of the product with the recommendation and the close working we'll have with the doctors in that area for that particular formulation or for that particular drug which we will have. So one is that particular aspect. Second is the institutional part which I was mentioning. So which means that if I am making, say, a bulk drug, or I'm making an intermediary a product which is actually going to another larger institutional organization, and we need to do the key account management, which means we need to track how are we deeper into that organization, what all opportunities are we running, what is their buying behavior, what is my share of business with in that organization, because they won't be buying from a single company. The same ingredient or same composition which I am supplying might be supplied by various other people also. So doing the key account management, tracking my visits, how the things are, and then subsequently increasing my share of the customer wallet will be a aspect which will be supplying it from a institutional sales perspective. So and then there could be some scenarios again on the chemical side, which could be largely on the distribution side of the business, where we'll have distributors, dealers, and other areas, other channel partners, which we will be selling it, and may also be doing a lot of new product development and research development and new aspects in there. So those are things which we cover in our solutions. Yeah, Arpitji.
Okay, all right, Rajiv.
Yeah, in fact, Arpitji, we would encourage that if there are, I personally feel there are a lot of queries you will have. I would probably want that, my team to visit you or talk to you online or whatever way it is convenient. Sure. And we'll take a deeper dive in each of these specific areas, because each of these areas is ocean by itself. So,
no problem, sir. No problem.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions we have, Abhinav?
1 second, sir. Sakshi, do you have any other questions from the team? Sakshi?
No,
Yogesh?
Okay. No, not yet.
I think if there are no questions, we can conclude the webinar. Many thanks everyone for joining. We really appreciate you are taking the time out and attending this webinar. I hope whatever we discussed today did leave you with a lot of thoughts, and there are areas where we would want maybe you would want more details and information on, and we'll be very happy to take a further deeper dive, as we said, both from solution benefit and subsequent deployments in our own organizations the way we would want it. We would be happy to engage with you. Many thanks once again for joining. Wish you good luck, and God bless.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your patience and time with us. Hope this was as advantage for you as it was for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.